Tulsi, door close.
Dear friends, good morning to all of you. This is the second day of this Global IP Convention, and in the technical session of IP leverage and IP management. On the panel we have speaker from US, Mr. Alexander. We have Mr. Takashi from the country of Rising Sun, Japan. We have Mr. Anush Isar and Mr. Stephen from, both are from India. As a chairperson, I would like to deal with IP cloud in iCloud era. In Sanskrit, it is said that Aham Brahma Jagat Mithya. Aham means I. In English, also when I become capital, it is always problematic. I am doing like this, I am like this, I am like this. And in nowadays, in new era, when I become a small, now everything is become small I, it also creates some problems. So, I'll now talk about dealing with IP clouds in iCloud era. Friends, iCloud is a cloud storage and cloud computing services from Apple Incorporation. It has previously been branded as iTools in 2000, Mac in 2002, and MobileMe in 2008. The iCloud.com domain and registered trademarks were brought from a Swedish company called Xerion, who rebranded their services to CloudMe. And I'll show you what is iCloud is a service that shares content among devices over the air. You can see what is iCloud. Sort of a gaping hole in that analogy right now. You have great syncing of contacts and mail and calendar. I can buy my apps, but I still have to tether to get what is arguably the birth of this platform, which is music and videos on my devices. And my mobile
that's not exactly true. You can buy music and get it on your device over the air, and you can buy video and get it on your device over the air. There's iTunes Store is on all those devices, and it does flow over the air.
But I have a large iTunes library that I built up thanks to you over the last 8 years.
No, what you'd like to do is share your library amongst your various devices.
Yeah.
It's not buying it
Without a wire.
Yeah, without a wire. It's not buying it on that
No, no,
device,
no,
because you
it's
can
not buying it.
buy it all on that device.
It's the tethering.
No,
I think,
think.
It's the sharing.
Yeah.
You want to share your content that you bought or somehow otherwise acquired
Yeah.
amongst your various devices.
And you can't do that today, right? With
You can do that today with a wire. You cannot do that today without a wire. We need to work harder on that.
You do?
We do.
Thank you.
You really can't even do it with a wire because it'll blow away. It'll say, well, if you're going to sync with this PC or this Mac,
No, but if it's your content, you can do it all real easy. It just takes a wire.
so you're going to do better.
We need to do better.
Okay, anytime soon?
We're working on it.
With iCloud, when you buy a song on one device, it instantly downloads to all your others. Take a picture here, and it shows up there. Start a project in one place, and pick up right where you left off in another. Capture the moment here, and it's waiting for you there. Make a change on this, and it updates on that. And with iCloud, it all works automatically and wirelessly. So you always have the things you want exactly where you want them.
Now friends, after iCloud, now let us see what is iCloud computing. Cloud computing establishes ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. The National Institute of Standard and Technology defines cloud computing as a model for enabling ambiguous, convenient, and on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. Now, Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer said that when people talk about cloud computing, they are talking just about taking some stuff, putting it outside the firewall, and perhaps putting it on servers that are also shared or storage systems. Larry Ellison of Oracle, who is the CEO of Oracle, says that the interesting thing about cloud computing is that we have redefined cloud computing to include everything that we already do. I cannot think of anything that is not cloud computing. With all of these announcements, I don't understand what we would do differently in the light of cloud computing other than the change the wording of some of our ads. Now there are two models of cloud computing. One is a service model and second is a development models. What is service models? It is infrastructure as a service, that is IaaS. In this model, the capability is providing to the consumer to provisions, processing, storage, networks, and other fundamental computing resources. Second is platform as services, that is PaaS. In the past models, cloud provides deliver a computing platform, typically including operating system, programming language, execution environment, database, and web server. Example of PaaS includes Amazon Elastic Beanstalk. Third is a software as a service. In the SaaS model, cloud provides install and operate application software in the cloud, and cloud users access the software from cloud clients. Example of SaaS include Google applications. Now, network as a service, that is NaaS, it is a category of cloud services where the capability provided to the cloud service user is to use network, transport, connectivity services and or inter-cloud network connectivity services. Next is the storage as services. It is known as SaaS. Is a business model in which a large service provider rents space in their storage structure on a subscription basis. Next is a security as a service. ACCAS is a business model in which a large service provider integrates their security services into corporate infrastructure on a subscription basis. More cost effective than most individuals or corporations can provide on their own when total cost of ownership is considered. Next is a data as a service, that is DaaS, is a based on concept that the product, data in this case, can be provided on demand to the user regardless of geographic or organizational separation of provider and consumer. Next is API AS. API as a service is a service platform that enables the creation and hosting of AIP, that is application programming interfaces. Backend as a service, it is a model for providing web and mobile application developers with a way to link their applications to backend cloud storage, while also providing features such as user management, push notifications, and integration with social networking services. Now, what is the deployment models? It is cloud computing can be deployed in a number of ways, including public cloud, where access to the cloud computing service is not restricted to a particular entity or community of entities, and it is generally available in the public. Private cloud, where access is restricted to a single private entity, for example, a single agency. Third is a hybrid cloud, where more than one of the above models operate in tandem to provide some level of interactivity between the clouds that is not available outside the hybrid cloud. Now, cloud computing patent claims. Now, let us relate with these clouds with the patents. The cloud can be viewed from the perspective of a single application or data service provider, or at high level perspective incorporating multiple service providers. In such an example, claims may be directed to functions being performed by or features of single data service provider or multiple service providers. Accordingly, patent claims directed to a hybrid cloud may be framed using several perspectives. The claims may be drafted in either method claims form or system claim form. A method claim is directed to a specific steps being performed. A system claim, on the other hand, is directed to what is doing the performing or components that are performing the steps of the method. Now, patent infringement issues. There are several patent infringement issues. Ordinarily, whether an infringing activity occurs within the jurisdiction can be determined without difficulty. In the case of cloud computing, it is difficult to judge because, one, the patented invention is not one single device, but rather a system comprising multiple distinct components, or a method with multiple distinct steps. Second, the nature of those components or steps permits their function and use to be separated from their physical location. When A cloud system incorporates multiple services offered by multiple providers. There is a contract that governs the relationship. A plaintiff thus should look to this contract to try and establish the necessary direction of control and mastermind of a single entity. For a single claim, the plaintiff should look to the user of the cloud system as well as the service provider to determine if anyone used all of the components of the system. In one US case, it is Akamai Tax Incorporation versus Limelight Network Incorporation. 3 patents were obtained by Akamai, which relates to disclose a system for allowing a content provider to outsource the storage and delivery of discrete portions of the website content. Normally, website includes a base content documents and one or more URL links to embedded objects. The claim of the patents are directed to a content delivery computer, while individual embedded objects of the websites are stored on object by object plane on a content delivery network. It is known as a CDN. The process of modifying an embedded objects of URL to link to an object on CDN is referred to as tagging. Akamai accused Limelight for infringing its patents. It was, however, undisputed that Limelight does not itself perform every step of the asserted claims. Specifically, the contents provider performed the tagging step. It was ruled out that this court therefore holds as a matter of federal circuit law that there can only be joint infringement when there is an agency relationship between the parties who perform the method step, or where one party is contractually obligated to the other to perform the steps. Let us see something about trade secret. Under some service agreements, a cloud service provider may appoint other service provider in order to meet demands. This raises potential legal issues. One of the issues can arise with regard to whether confidentiality of alleged trade secret information has been maintained and preserved in situations involving subcontracts who are not included in the development of confidential information. There are also some trademark issues. There is increasing number of trademarks and trademark applications incorporating the term cloud computing. Other issues relating to trademark are to define generic, secondary meaning, and infringement or likelihood of confusion. There is also difficulty in determining the prior user in a particular geographic region when the trademark is used in context of a cloud-based services. Now, copyright issues. A potential legal question as to whether a work that exists solely in the cloud is sufficiently fixed in a tangible medium of expression for copyright purposes. In the cloud computing environment, data and information can be split up and copied in a separate location in the cloud. A single work is physically split up and stored in a separate location in the cloud. There is the possibility of questioning being raised as to whether the work has been fixed in a tangible medium or expression, since the cloud is an indefinite set of machines or devices from which the work would need to be perceived, reproduced, or otherwise communicated. Now there is also one more issue, is a jurisdictional issues. If you have uploaded a dog named Frank photo on the cloud, then what will be the jurisdiction? And let us see. Hence, one cannot know where data physically resides, which country has jurisdiction and responsible party for data and owner of data. So there may be multiple jurisdiction, and there is a good chance of forum shopping for when it is a matter of iCloud computing. Now, conclusion of this is considering complexity of cloud computing patent claims must be drafted considering the existing joint infringement doctrine. The company that provides cloud computing service ensures that it retains ownership of its data in its original and authenticable form. Service agreement must clarify commitments of the cloud services provider and the clients. There should be unified process for responding to service process. Cloud service provider must monitor vulnerability in the system. Cloud service agreement should include provision for recurring data after termination of contractual relationship. One should use well-established cloud provider and try to find out where their services are located, assess suitability and agree with low app suppliers. Now, Business Software Alliance Global Cloud Computing Scorecard ranks 24 countries accounting for 80% of the global PCT market based on 7 policy categories that measure the country's preparedness to support the growth of the cloud computing. These policies are data piracy, security, cybercrime, intellectual property, support for industry-led standards and international rules, promoting free trade, ICT readiness, broadband development, and Japan is the leader in cloud readiness and easily top in the scorecard ranking. This table is showing comparison of cybercrime and intellectual property policies in Japan, US, UK and India. And the right mark indicates a positive assessment which is generally considered to be an encouraging step towards the establishment of a favorable legal and regulatory environment for cloud computing. Cross includes a negative assessment in the presence of a potential barrier to the establishment of a favorable legal and regulatory, and dot indicates that the assessment is positive in part, although some gaps or inconsistencies may exist which require further remedial work by all the countries. This is also showing the same table. This is further on the questions of intellectual property rights. And now, very interesting is a very red hot case of techno sector war. All of you know that Apple sued Samsung on April 15, 2011, claiming Samsung's Galaxy smartphones and tablets copied Apple's iPhone and iPad. On August 24, 2012, a California jury decided that Samsung infringed Apple's patent on iPhones, US patent number 7469381, US patent number 7844915, US patent number 7864163, US design 593087, and US design 60305. Among these, the bounce back effect patent was tentatively invalidated by the USPTO on October 23, 2012. And Apple was awarded US $1.05 billion as the damages. Now, what was the patent of US, that is number 7469381? We'll refer as a 381 patent. is titled as List Scrolling and Documents Translation, Scaling and Rotation on a Touch Screen Display, that is Bounce Back Effect. It is a computer implemented method for use in conjunction with a device with a touch screen display is disclosed. In the method, a movement of an object on or near the touch screen display is detected. In response to detecting the movement, an electronic document displayed on the touch screen display is translated in a first direction. Let us look at the US patent number 915. It is an application programming interfaces for scrolling operation that is on screen of navigation. The patent discloses an environment with user interface software interacting with software application, a method for operating through an application programming interface. In this environment includes transferring a set of bounce calls. US patent number 163 discloses portable electronic device, method and graphical user interface for displaying structural electronic documents, that is called up tap to zone. This is a US design. It includes home button, rounded corners and tapered edges, that is protected under US design 59308-087, having title electronic device. This slide shows that it is an on-screen icon are protected under US design 60305 titled graphical user interface for display screen or proportion thereof. Now, about the wording, Apple said that we choose legal action very reluctantly and only after repeatedly asking Samsung to stop copying our work. For us, this lawsuit has always been about something much more important than patent or money. It is about the values. We value originality and innovation and pour our lives into making this best product on earth. And we do this to delight our customers, not for competitors or frequently copying. And what the Samsung said about this verdict, Samsung said that today's verdict should not be viewed as a win for Apple, but as a loss for the American consumer. It will lead to fewer choices, less innovation, and potentially high prices. It is unfortunate that patent law can be manipulated to give one company a monopoly over rectangles with rounded corners or technology that is being improved every day by Samsung and other companies. Consumers have right to choices and they know what they are buying when they purchase Samsung products. One more judgment from Seoul, that is from Korea, Central District of Korea. They delivered a decision finding both companies responsible for patent infringement, stating that Apple infringed two Samsung wireless patents, while Samsung infringed Apple's bounce back effect patent. Tokyo District Court decided that Samsung's Galaxy smartphones and tablets did not violate Apple's technology patent and ordered Samsung legal costs to be submitted. This war started, and I think it is never-ending war, and may be spread to other countries also. And that is, I thank you very much. All of you.